It's Monday, October 25th, 2021. We got a few things to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Markets across the board up, the melt up continues. And as you're watching this, as I'm watching this, there's a few things that come to mind. How safe is your money in the bank? Should you have all your money in the bank? I don't think so. Let me be very, very clear. I do not give financial advice. This is me thinking out loud. This is me talking to associates and friends in my circle. This is me talking to people that contact me on a daily basis, sharing with me what they're doing. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people out there right now, including myself, who have a majority of their money out of the banking system. You need to have some money in the banks to pay the bills. But a majority of your money, in my opinion, should not be in the banks right now. Money sitting on a computer screen, I would be very, very worried right now. I talk to people daily that have money in the system, and they are very, very worried. And many of them are pulling money out. Many of them are buying gold right now. And I think this is a time that we should not have our fate in the banking system. So me personally, majority of my money is out of the banking system. A lot of people I'm talking to, they have been out of the banking system for a very, very long time. And I know people are going to write me, well, where should I put it? You need to think about that. I can't tell you where to put your money. That's something that you need to think about. But I want to share an article with you, and it made me really think today of why we shouldn't have our money in the bank, at least a majority of it, and why we probably should be buying some gold, buying some silver, having some cash put away. Many economists believe that another Great Depression is likely to happen this year. This comes from survivalblog.com. The world faces unprecedented hunger crisis. Millions of people will be pushed into extreme poverty. And look, I've said it, and you know it, you've said it. If you're not preparing right now, you are going to be in an extreme crisis. You are going to be food insecure. You will be financially insecure. We're not far from another depression, one that will throw millions of Americans into poverty. We're watching millions of Americans right now. We're watching the process of millions falling into poverty right now. Even in a country that seems rich, strong, and confident, things can get bad extremely quick, ladies and gentlemen. Millions of Americans are still unemployed. Millions of Americans who were working 18 months ago, right now, are not working. We have a danger of uncontrollable inflation, stimulus checks, benefit checks, infrastructure bills. A lot of this money to fulfill this was printed and borrowed. Creating or borrowing money doesn't make a country richer. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It makes a country poor, puts a country into poverty. It makes each dollar less valuable. As the dollar gets weaker, imported goods cost more. We are experiencing that right now. Things we were talking about 2 years ago now are coming to fruition. And if you are unprepared today, you're in very, very big trouble. If you can afford a car now, you have to put gas in that car. Your dollars are buying less gas. I mean, think about the price. The average price of a new car, $45,000. And we're seeing $4, $5, $6, even $7 plus gas up in parts of California. $7.59 for unleaded up in Northern California. Unbelievable. But it's coming to a town near you, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it won't be $7 or $8. Maybe it'll be $4, $5, $6. But just a year ago, you saw gas under $2. Look where we're at now. The government passes laws to raise minimum wage, which means employers have to raise prices even more while they pay more for energy and raw material. When we look at the debt situation, look, and I'm paraphrasing through this article of why it's very possible that we're going to see a second Great Depression, one that I believe will be much worse than the first one. We have a debt crisis here. Our money supply is inflating by $1 billion per hour. The national debt is rising so quickly, it's hard to follow in real time because the last 5 digits on that national debt clock are changing too fast to keep up with. By the 2030s, we'll need to borrow or print more money just to pay interest on what we've already borrowed. And there are people out there telling us not to worry, that you're paranoid, that this could never happen because it's America. These people are out of their minds. These people are going to lose. These are the people who are brainwashed, delusional with what is happening right now. And you need to really stay far away from these people, because these people are going to lead you down a road of financial doom. And again, many of these people are gambling right now. Many of these people are laughing and enjoying the party, but they have no idea. You've seen the movie before. I've seen the movie before. We know how it ends. We know what happens when the music stops. And many of these people either forgot about what happened in 2008, or they were just too young. But if you remember 2008, you remember how quickly the music stopped. But this time, it's going to be a much different movie, because back then we actually had interest rates. Now we have 0% interest rate. We have $30 trillion of debt, and we have massive unemployment. And this is way different now. And it's global. You're looking at $300 trillion of global debt, and you're looking at every country racing to the bottom with printing money. So this is going to be a completely different situation. And this is why this is going to definitely be way worse than 2008. And this is why I believe we're going to rival 1929. Home prices up 23% in just a year. Used car prices up 45%. Farmers say a bale of hay has risen 20% over the last 12 months. This, ladies and gentlemen, is unsustainable. All bubbles pop, okay? The music always comes to an end. And people say, well, you've been talking about this for 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3 years is nothing. And bubbles just don't take 6 months to occur. They can inflate for years and years. We saw it took years for the '08 bubble to finally pop, but there was immediate government intervention, trillions of dollars pumped into the market to stop the bleeding, to stop the hemorrhaging. It's not going to work this time, ladies and gentlemen. This time, it's going to be much different. If the dollar gets weaker, the economy will be crippled, and the economy is being more and more crippled every day. Look, the dollar is on borrowed time. I don't think I need to tell anybody out there. The purchasing power of the dollar from 10, 20, 30 years ago, it's unbelievable how much purchasing power, how weak it's gotten. 98% of purchasing power of the dollar has been lost since 1971. Think about that. Since 1971, the dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power, and people believe it's going to be here forever. I think you got to have some, ladies and gentlemen. There's no doubt about it. You still got to have some dollars, but I believe it's more important at this point to be holding precious metals. What would you do if there's no electricity, if the grid goes down, cyber attack, municipalities can't pay their bills and the power gets cut off? That means there's no running water. There's no lights. There's no heat. What if you couldn't access your bank account? What if you couldn't get on the internet? What if your cell phone doesn't work? These are questions we all have to be asking ourselves right now, because we're seeing these massive power outages occurring all over the world. And maybe we have experienced some for a short period of time, but what if they last a week, 2 weeks? And again, what if municipalities, your city, can't pay its bills? What happens? So this is why it's so imperative that every one of you is preparing mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. The Greatest Depression, ladies and gentlemen, lasted for 10 years. 10 years before we recovered from that Great Depression in 1929. What if this one lasts a year, 5 years, 10 years? What if it lasts 15 years? Do you have a skill set? Do you know how to be self-sufficient? Do you have assets? Do you have your debts paid off? This is what you need to be doing and working on right now. You got to have a mindset. You got to have the tools to make it through very, very tough times. And only tough people are going to survive tough times. If you have a background in cartoons, video games, sports, reality TV, these skill sets, ladies and gentlemen, will be worthless. Nobody's going to care what kind of car you drive, what kind of watch you wear. What they're going to care about is, do you have skills? Do you have tools? Do you know how to get something done? What can you do? You've got to bring something to the table. Nobody, again, is going to care about your zip code, your car, your watch. how many digits on a screen you had in your money market, how many stocks you had, because all that could be, quite frankly, worth zero. What they're going to care about is what can you do? What do you bring to the table? Do you know how to fix a car? Do you have a medical background? Can you operate? Do you have a security background? What do you have that's worth anything? You know, maybe a liberal arts degree, a degree in history. You know, that's not really going to carry anything. Most people are going to find out that their college degree is completely worthless, as they're finding out right now as they're working in leisure and hospitality for minimum wage or low wages. And many people are going to find out even more as this economy collapses and we go into a depression, that they have no skills, they have no tools, and their degrees mean absolutely nothing. So as I make this video today, I'm ordering more gold. That's me. I believe that's the right way to go. I know a lot of people out there say, hey, it's all about cryptos. It's all about cryptos. Hey, you could be right. If you believe that cryptos are going to buffer the damage here, or save you from an economic collapse, or they're going to soften the blow, look, more power to you. Do what you think you need to do. Do what you think is best for your situation. To me, though, as we begin to see cracks in the economy last year when the market went down 20%, we saw what happened to the cryptos. Bitcoin went down 85%. When the Evergrande situation started out in China, we saw the cryptos get absolutely crushed. And so I think that I'm going to stick with gold, silver, gold especially, because this is what central banks around the world are stockpiling. This is what Russia and China are stockpiling. And it's been battle tested. Gold and silver have been through every war in history. It's been through every dynasty. It's been through every economic collapse. It's been through every depression. It's been through every currency collapse. And 5,000 years later, it's still here. And the world looks at it as real money. So look, diversification, I think, is phenomenal. If you want to buy some cryptos, more power to you. But I think you should have some gold and some silver and a few dollar bills in there too. But I'm buying more gold. And, you know, people will say, I can't buy gold, JB. It's too expensive. These are the same people who went out and bought new cars. These are the same people who went out and bought big screen TVs. These are the same people that spend $100 on the weekend at the bar every Saturday or every Friday night. These are the same people that always say they have no money, but they always seem to have money to buy toys. They always seem to have money to go out. They always have money to take a vacation, eat a nice steak at Morton's or Ruth Chris, but they never have any money to buy gold. But let me say this: whether you have money or not, whatever you do, do not be buying paper gold or paper silver, especially mining stocks. Nothing wrong if you have money to gamble, money to burn. That's fine. There are going to be mining stocks that do incredibly well. But I'm talking to the people who are on a budget that don't want to take risks. Gold and silver have never been worth zero. Physical gold, physical silver. So stop using the excuse that it's too expensive. You may have to make sacrifices. You may have to cut something out of your life. But don't sacrifice your safety, your financial safety, by buying paper, okay? This is not the time to be buying paper. And if you don't want to gamble, certainly do not be buying mining stocks. Physical gold, physical silver, that's what's going to matter right now. Again, if you have the money to lose, if you want to gamble a little bit, there's a zillion mining stocks out there. Most of them are horrible. Most of them are going to lose money. The few good ones are going to make a lot of money. But if you're really looking about safety, you stay away from paper and you stay away from mining stocks. The hedge today, crude tops $85 for first time since 2014 as banks see oil surge accelerating. Last year, West Texas Intermediate crude was trading at negative $40 a barrel. Here we are in October, and we saw crude top $85. Right now, it's 83 and change. But again, it's going to cost more to heat your home. It's going to cost more to put gas in the car. And who's this going to affect? It's going to affect the poor. It's going to affect the middle class. And we're going to see more middle class become poor because of all this inflation, the cost of energy, etc. The organic prepper. What supply chain problems? Question mark. The government wants you to know everything is fine. And I was reading this article, and many of you have seen this in real life. I've shot video at stores of this, but The shelves, we see canned food shelves where there's one can in the front and nothing behind it. They're trying to be very tricky here, and again, they're painting this picture that everything is fine, but it's like one can of beans up front, 4 rows of beans, one can across, and nothing in the back. I've seen this at many stores now. They're filling empty shelves with collapsible chairs. There was I don't know if it was a Walmart or what store it was, but they showed a video where they just had empty shelves of whatever products were there. This was not food, but they were just putting these collapsible chairs, one next to another, 50 feet down the aisle of just collapsible chairs. These aisles used to be filled with maybe shoes or other type of goods, but you certainly would never see collapsible chairs sitting on shelves, one next to the other. They're putting pictures of food over the shelves, so they would just roll down these pictures of canned foods on these empty shelves. This is all a sign, I guess, that everything's fine, right, ladies and gentlemen? There's nothing wrong, nothing to be concerned about. Don't worry about inflation turning into hyperinflation. Remember, everybody a year ago, if you read some of my comments, everybody told me that there's going to be no hyperinflation. It's going to be deflation, JB. What are you talking about, hyperinflation? Well, here we are with inflation soaring right now. Everybody said it would be deflation. There would be no inflation. And now everybody's beginning to talk about hyperinflation. Jack Dorsey coming out yesterday and warning of hyperinflation. Many people, Peter Schiff's and all these other people warning of hyperinflation coming. And in fact, it has probably already begun. Shoppers find discounts are in short supply this holiday season. This on the hedge. For retailers, the newfound pricing power after years of rampant discounting and deflation is boosting profits at a time when sales are still recovering from the health crisis. The number of out-of-stock messages online is up 172% compared with January of 2022. Discounts this holiday season will be much less common. If you need to get holiday gifts, you better go get them tonight. The longer you wait, the harder it is going to get things. And already the shelves are empty, the online shelves are empty, and this is a completely new world. $3,000 in months, not years. Gold inflation protection means violent run-up imminent. This coming from the hedge today. When metals do begin to go up, this is when you know big trouble is coming. You are going to see a violent run-up when metals break loose. They are being manipulated. I talked to a good friend of mine, an attorney today, and he is a huge holder and believer in precious metals. And he is just in awe every time he sees gold go up $30, silver up 60, 80 cents. And an hour later, they will pull gold down to $15. They'll pull silver down to 20 cents. And how they do this, they flood the market with paper. This is how they manipulate things. They just flood the market with paper gold, paper silver. And this is why you need to be holding physical and not paper. The paper is so manipulated. At some point, we're going to see a detachment from the paper price and the physical price. We're already beginning to see that because you see the premiums. They're high. They're not coming down. And when they do lose control, when you begin to see gold and silver go on a violent run, this is when you know they've lost control. This is when you know things are about to get very, very bad. The real safe haven, ladies and gentlemen, as China knows, as Russia knows, as most central banks around the world know, is gold. And I truly do believe this is why I own it. This is why I buy it. This is why I'm ordering more this evening. I could take $2,000 and buy cryptos. I'm not in the mood to buy into bubbles. I'm not in the mood to gamble. That's just me. So don't hate me for that. If you have cryptos, God bless you. That's fine. That's your belief. That's up to you. You may have cryptos and you may have gold. You may have cryptos and gold and silver. Great. Diversification is great. I just am at a point in life where I'm not gambling. I'm buying real assets because I like to buy things on sale. I like gold. It's on sale. I believe silver is on sale. I believe that real estate is going to be on sale. And when it is on sale, I'm going to be buying that. So, a lot of people just condemn me because they think that I should be buying houses right now. I should go out and buy 3 houses. I should own 3 houses right now. So that's a great idea. So I should own 3 houses, rent them out, and then not get paid, and have absolutely no protection here in the state of California as a landlord. So no, I don't think I want to be a landlord. I don't think I want to be a landlord for a very, very long time. Looking at what just happened to landlords across America, especially what's happening right here in California, who in their right mind would want to buy investment real estate right now, knowing that we could see a more severe health crisis, and you're not going to get paid. You won't get paid for 19 months. Maybe it'll be 3 years. So why in the world would anybody go out and buy investment property right now that's in a bubble? When this housing market crashes, as you all know, I'm buying a ranch out of state, and I'm waiting for this market to correct. I'm waiting for the right property. I've got my financial situation where I want it, and I'm sitting back. And to me, patience is a virtue, and I'm ready to pull the trigger, on this housing market when the time is right. But I'm not going to rush into a bubble, whether that's in the stock market, whether that's in real estate, cryptos, none of it. It's all in a bubble. And I personally don't like bubbles. I would not buy a bicycle in a bubble, let alone a house in a bubble, or cryptocurrency in a bubble, or a stock in a bubble, because I know that all bubbles burst, ladies and gentlemen. And there's so many people that just, oh, I got to be a part of this. They buy into this frenzy because they watch it every day on television. They watch The Economist. They watch these analysts. They watch Fox Business. And they just think they're missing out. And this bubble is going to continue to go on for years and years and years. And they're going to sucker so many people into this. Look, it's just me, but I think this bubble's going to burst. And when it does, wow, we're going to see some huge, huge sales. That's just me. Maybe I'm going to have to wait a while. That's okay. I'm fine with waiting. I'll wait as long as it takes. How can 84% of Chicago public school students graduate when only 26% of 11th graders are proficient in reading and math? And people continue to tell me that China will never be the world's superpower, although I think they already are. But how in the world can a nation such as the United States of America be a world superpower when it doesn't create anything, doesn't produce anything, doesn't manufacture anything? Let me take that back. It does create a lot of debt, but it also creates a lot of unskilled, uneducated people. 84% of public schools, public school students graduate with only 26% of 11th graders being proficient in reading and in math. How do you call yourself a world superpower when you have so many kids? It's not just Chicago. You can go to pretty much most urban cities in America now, and you have an abundance of kids coming out of school who cannot read or do arithmetic. We don't manufacture. We don't make anything. We create a lot of debt, and we're creating a lot of people who cannot read, who cannot write, and who basically cannot add 4 plus 4. If America doesn't wake up and turn this around very, very soon, it's over. It's game over, period. But these numbers are not lying. In fact, I think it's even worse than that. But, you take into account all the debts, deficits on top of our school system crumbling as fast as the infrastructure. It's a disaster, ladies and gentlemen. And when we do go into the greatest depression in the world, America is going to really feel the pain. And everybody is going to feel pain. No matter how much money you have, no matter how prepared you are going to feel pain. The question is, how much pain will you feel and how long will the pain last? If you're completely unprepared, you're going to be living in a nightmare. If you've been preparing for this time, you'll survive, you'll prosper, you're going to feel some pain, but you're going to get through it. I leave you with this. Take every day that you have, take the time that you have right now, and time is not on your side. Time is not your friend, ladies and gentlemen. It is running out. But take what time you have, whether it's a day, a week, a month, or a year. Take it and put the odds in your favor. Put the odds in your favor. Sitting on the couch doing nothing guarantees a disaster for you and your family. Doing something like putting food and water, physical assets, some cash away, absorbing knowledge, educating yourself. These are the things that are going to be important. Having a skill set, having a toolbox of things that you can do. These are the things that are going to help you survive. Just study the Great Depression. We should all go back and really study what happened during the Great Depression and what people had to do to survive. People were starving. Kids were starving. It was not a pretty time. This will be way worse. People back in that time helped one another. Now, people are out for themselves. It will be every man for themselves. Make sure you have a tight-knit, a circle of people. These lone wolves out there that think that they're going to survive all by themselves, they are delusional. You need family. You need friends around you. You need people with skills around you. The more you are insulated with people, good people, the better chance you're going to have to get through this. Put the odds in your favor, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking about a Great Depression, not a recession. The recession, I mean, we have economists every day now admitting that we're in a recession. We've been in a recession for over a year. Look, the economy has been failing for years. It never got fixed from 2008. I think we can all admit that. We put a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound, and here we are now. We've been kicking the can down the road for 13 years. The debt's worse, the deficit's worse, the economy's worse, the conditions are worse, and more people are more unprepared than ever. So get out of your bubble, get out of your comfort zone, get off the couch, and get ready. This thing is going to ruin and destroy a lot of lives. Don't let it be yours.